You have so got to die.
You're not gonna kill me.
Wait. You say something, Chief?
As commander in the field, I'm exercising attack abort authority. Reasons. Collateral both at primary and allied state of Pakistan will be too high.
Negative, Talon 1. Tin Man will not abort. Tin Man will prosecute.
Taste your stink. Every time I do, I fear that I've somehow been infected by it. It's repulsive, isn't it?
Bum 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 bum. Wait, I can do that better. What if it's like?
Fly, you fools!
I have been, and always shall be, your friend.
There we go. There we go. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Uh-oh. Okay. No, I had to unplug and replug in my mic, and then it defaulted to the mic I no longer have. So, so yes, that was my boo-boo, but happy Thanksgiving, everybody. It's tomorrow if you're here in the States. I know Canadian Thanksgiving was last month in October. It's like the second Monday of October. And some people had Thanksgiving dinners this past weekend. Some people, like myself, we've got like 5 different Thanksgivings over the weekend. So it's going to be great. It's going to be great. I am hosting 2. One is a like Friendsgiving and like people who can't go home and stuff. And you do this like adopt a college student or adopt a veteran that or adopt a service member if you've got like an active or a reserve base near you. You can you have to go through and sign up and do all the stuff, and then they come like ask you questions and do a really quick screening, and then they're like, cool, here's your vet, or here's your service member, or here's your college kid, and then they'll come to your house for Thanksgiving so they can actually have a Thanksgiving. And then there are a couple of good things before we get into the insanity that is Hollywood, because let's be honest, it has always been and will likely always remain to be insane. But with Thanksgiving here in the States tomorrow, we are less than a month away from the most wonderful time of the year. And that is, of course, Christmas. And with Christmas, there is holly jolly wonderfulness. There's all kinds of great things with decorations and cookies and candy and presents and shopping and family, the most important thing. So I do not think the Muppet Christmas Carol is the greatest. I actually prefer the Flintstone Christmas Carol, but that is a honorable choice. But in the midst of all of the crazy, there is something that is very near and dear to my heart. I've spent years when I was in the reserves. I had to dress up and do it, and now that I'm a vet, I try and get as many places as I know to sign up and be a location drop for it. And I am, of course, talking about the fantastic, wonderful, best Christmas organization or like organized collection of all time. And that is, of course, Toys for Tots. It is genuinely and truly just a fantastic. It's just a fantastic program. It's very easily accessible. It doesn't have to be expensive. The only thing that they ask is when you take your toy to the drop-off location, it is unwrapped and sealed. And that is, of course, because there have been times in the past where certain individuals have used Toys for Tots as like their donation dump for the toys that they don't want. But this is, I mean, if you are looking for a genuine American helps the ones who need it, Toys for Tots is fantastic. You can get the donations, and I know it says Toys for Tots, but the donations can be books, they can be toys, they can be clothes, blankets, socks, coats, hats. The only thing that when it comes to our items of clothing is they have to be, so like if you buy like kids clothes online or whatever, they have to still be sealed. So you still pull them out of like the Amazon package, but they should still be in like a vacuum sealed bag from the manufacturer. Because obviously there are concerns about, sad to say, but like lice or bed bugs or stuff like that. So they have to be in the manufacturer bag if you're going to donate. Some people have donated like Halloween costumes, the ones that come in like the plastic bags and stuff, as long as they've not been previously opened. So as long as it's sealed, so that's why it's usually easier to get like socks or like as long as you have shoes. I think they still do it where if you have the receipt and it was purchased within like 10 days of you dropping them off so that they know that they're new and they'll inspect them and everything. But again, these are for kids who are in need. And so what they really want is it doesn't have to be anything big. But what they are really looking for is new sealed toys or items of clothing or movies or books or video games, just not your old stuff, right? Because it was, to make it very clear at one point, they did not want they didn't want it to turn into like people's dumping ground for stuff that they didn't want, that had been poorly taken care of or was out of shape, if that makes any sense. So if you are looking to do a good deed, you can go to the toysfortots.org. That's their website. So toysfortots.org. You can come up here and you can donate. If you are someone who is in need, you can request a toy and it takes you through how that goes. You can find a local chapter if you want to volunteer. And there's all kinds of everything down here that lets you know what they do, ways you can support them. So donate, host a toy drive, become a toy drop site. This is the site that I give to a lot of people right here. Host an event, volunteer, start a local chapter, self-service donor portal. There's so much It tells you about what this is, how it helps, different news, like the newsletters, everything like that. It's a really, I think that this is one of the best things that my family and I do as one of our Christmas traditions. We always, even when times were really, really tough, we always make sure that we donate at least one boy and one girl toy, you know? So it's an incredible program. I can't recommend it enough. And it truly captures the spirit of Christmas and what it means. And, you know, it helps bring joy to children. So I don't think you can really top that, especially in this day and age. So now that I have the mushy gushy stuff out of the way, it's, let's see. We have some stuff. We have some stuff to talk about. And we'll probably do there's some of the old school Toys for Tots commercials are really, really good. And we will probably look at those because they're really great. And I think it does something for your soul when you see stuff like that. So it's definitely something that we need to do more of. Stuff that's good for our soul, gosh dang it. But we will watch that later because Hollywood has been in a spiral since 2016. They have gone down this road to perdition. And by golly, I'll tell you what, when you walk that road, this is different than a road paved with good intentions, right? Like, this is not, hey, we had really good intentions and it paved us down this road. No. Their intentions were destructive. They were diabolical. They were hateful. They were misandrist and misogynistic. They were everything that they claimed others to be. And it really bothers the frick out of me now to think that they still made billions of dollars in this time. But by golly, when you go down that road to perdition, guess where you end up? You end up in hell. So this is of their own making. They have nobody to blame but themselves. I do not take pity on them, but let's look back at some of the highlights from just the past year. Okay? Just the past year. Who could forget this gold nugget? Diversity fatigue. Hollywood loses 4 DEI leaders in less than 2 weeks. DEI execs from Warner Brothers Discovery, Disney, Netflix, and the Academy were either laid off or left their jobs in just the past 10 days. And this is, of course, from June of 2023. So this is a year and a half ago. They were already talking about diversity fatigue. The drive for diversity that picked up prominence with the 2020s BLM movement seems to have run its course after just 3 years. 3 very long years. But alas, nobody told the stars, nobody told Hollywood. They are going to just keep on keeping on. Were these roles merely lip service all along? Yes. They always have been. Always will. Like, until somebody gets in there and just tells a great story, everything from 2016 to now, with very few exception, has all been lip service. 100,000 billion trillion %. As a Black lady sketch show actress, Yvette Nicole Brown tweeted, "I guess all those black boxes after George Floyd was yeeted and deleted when he wasn't were for nothing." Yeah, because it's low effort. We're gonna reference a tweet that, like, as I was putting stuff together, I was like, holy cow, sometimes I make sense. Sometimes I don't. That is fair. There are several times when I don't. But I was literally like, man, if the point was equal and fair, they would have stopped by now. Like, we would not still be dealing with this because they reached equal and fair. It's about power and control. Always has been. That's exactly what it is. And so this is, I don't know, just insanity. It is insanity. But I digress. Carrying on with this, remember, this is a year and a half ago now, folks. Dang near. Disney's chief diversity officer and senior vice president, LaTondra Newton, a 6-year veteran, was the first of the 4 to go. On June 20th, the company said Newton was leaving to pursue other endeavors. Predictably, her exit was celebrated by a faction of people who blamed her for the Little Mermaid's woke casting. Listen, I watched the live-action Little Mermaid. It was not good. It was full of pure trash. But we will continue. The RAPS Power Women Summit in December, saying with Heartbeat CEO Ty Randolph predicted that DEI roles were vulnerable. So remember, this is June 2023. So they are talking about the Power Women Summit in December of 2022. The writing, like these, it's not that these people didn't know. It's they simply don't care. And they thought they could get away with it. That is legitimately what this boils down to. Saying that DEI roles were vulnerable and on the chopping block if leaders did not make it a business imperative. So what they're saying is you absolutely have to do this thing because it wouldn't exist any other way, and it will die out if you don't make it absolutely 100% mandatory. That is why they pushed so hard, because this is an actual parasite. This is sucking the soul out of something. This is where you will get nothing back. They openly called for this, and they tried to shut everybody down by using the same talking points they always do with the ists and the phobes and the liars and the hatred and the toxic masculinity and this. What was I told? I was told that I had internalized misogyny, and that I suffered from essentially brainwashing from toxic masculinity. So, because my opinion differs, I am obviously the problem. Cool story, bro. Randolph says, if you do not look at building inclusive organizations as critical to success, profitability, and the scaling of your company and its objectives, those are the things that are greatly at risk. So basically, hey, if you want to make money, you have to do that. That's why the Oscars, that's why they have all of those initiatives now. They have all those check boxes. If you want to win an Oscar, you have to do this. If you want the tax credit breaks, you have to do this. You have to have a certain, like, you will meet this quota, and you will fit into this cookie cutter. And then when your movie flops because it looks like every other movie and nobody can tell anything apart, right off the top of my head, Rings of Power, Wheel of Time, the Shannara, like these literally, you can't tell the difference. You cannot look at them and see anything that is unique about them. From the music to the costumes to the sets to the dialogue, it's all the same. It's all, at best, mediocre, just misandry, disguised as empowering for women by making women absolutely insufferable and acting like men. Not that men are insufferable, but when women act that way, it becomes very insufferable. During the panel, Amazon studio head of global DEI, Letitia Gillespie, said the industry might be experiencing what she termed diversity fatigue. Yes, we were fatigued with this fake diversity push when it started. Now it's we're done. It is frozen out, not accepting. You're like, we do not want your struggle session closed-mindedness that hates certain individuals for aspects of themselves that they cannot control. When you say diversity, what you mean is putting people who you think belong somewhere in a place that you can control them. And anybody that doesn't play ball, you try to destroy, diminish, silence. It's all bad. You become these horrific, anti-human mouthpieces, NPCs. And it's quite disgusting. But we are not fatigued from DEI. We are done with DEI. Randolph added, "My hope is that we don't lose some of the ground that we gained because the pandemic really served as a catalyst and a mirror. Further proof," be very careful how I word this, further proof that not everything is what it seems. All is not what it seems. You guys remember that terrible scene from, was it season 3? Ugh. But those things, as we know, can be easily undone because it's not organic, because it's not real. This is why Hollywood is losing to YouTube and to Rumble and to AI-generated shorts on freaking X. It's because they are disingenuous and it's dull. It's boring. It's everything that we are currently trying to make sure they know we reject. Now people are like, well, Wicked is a feminist queer. And I'm like, listen, I've read the book. I've been to the musical on Broadway. And I even performed some of the songs because, yes, I was a theater kid. But I'm telling you right now, that isn't what it was. Now, it absolutely attempted to make the Wicked Witch of the West a, what is that? Sympathetic villainess. Like, one of the OG true villainesses in cinema, the Wicked Witch of the West. Incredibly powerful, unapologetically evil, was willing to do just terrible things, terrify people, controlled so many creatures via fear. If you've ever read the book, she's even more terrifying. And no, we're going to make it about some, literally, it's high school drama shit. High school drama landed us where we are. That's why she turned evil, because of some high school BS. And obviously, these people have never read the follow-up book, which didn't get turned into a Broadway musical, funnily enough. It's called Son of a Witch. Or Son of the Witch, my bad. Son of the Witch. Yes, I hear you over there. You'll have to excuse my bird. He's very talkative today. It's not even my bird. It's my husband's bird, but he likes me for some reason. And I don't know why. But yes, they admit that the pandemic was the catalyst and mirror for their ideological push. It's insane to me that they're so open about this and people still don't see it. Luckily, also in 2023, part of why this article kind of came out, Hollywood diversity initiatives may be challenged after Supreme Court affirmative action ruling. I don't know how many of you guys remember this, but the Supreme Court decided to strike down race-conscious admissions that could have a chilling effect and cause elevated scrutiny around diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, experts say. This was from July of 2023. So I flippy-flopped them. The other article came out first, but this writing was well on the wall, if you guys remember. Because affirmative action is illegal. It's race-based admissions. You're black, you're white, we're going to take the black one. You're Native American, you're black, we're going to take the Native American. Like, it literally is the oppression Olympics. It's the oppression Olympics, but in academia. And that is where it festered and bubbled and toiled. And then it spread out into the real world and infected so many aspects of everything, the culture, everyday life. I mean, it's in beauty care. It like, you know, it's a problem when you have a white girl with naturally curly hair who tried a bonnet because her friend suggested it, and she got annihilated by these psychopaths because they were like, how dare you culturally appropriate that? Bonnets are for curly-haired people. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. It matters the curl pattern in your hair. My goodness. And it's just... brr, it's insane. These people are ridiculous and psychotic and far beyond help. But while Hollywood has been a longtime target of the culture wars, it's always funny to me when they admit that there is a culture war going on. This time, Fortune 500 firms were hit first. Initial mark was Starbucks, then Morgan Stanley, then the Hershey Company and McDonald's were struck at soon after, with BlackRock close behind. Oh, BlackRock. Blah. Since last year, America First Legal Foundation, a conservative group founded by Stephen Miller, a White House policy advisor under the Trump administration, has been filing complaints with the EEOC, which is the Equal Opportunity Commission, against major companies arguing corporate diversity and hiring practice run afoul of civil rights laws. Now, the U.S. Supreme Court has struck down race-conscious admissions in colleges. See this? When it's, all right, listen here, computer, you're going to behave. We are not going to have these issues anymore. Thank you. All right. Sometimes you just got to talk nicely. Race conscious. Read as racist. Because that's what it is. It's 100%. What's the color of your skin? What's your background? Do you qualify in our, do you win in our oppression Olympics? Because if not, well, then we're going to go with the next person that does. So it is a self-consuming ideology, and it is finally blowing up to a point where they cannot hide it anymore. Legal experts say Hollywood should brace for elevated scrutiny around diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. This needs to happen. This needs to happen. We're going to get to that next, the next article well, it's not the next article, but we're going to get to an article soon about live action casting, because apparently Vikings are black now with dreads or braids or whatever you want to call them. Vikings have braids, but they're Viking braids. It's infuriating. They did the same thing with Percy Jackson. Greek gods. Athena's not black. Like, that's Greek history. You're screwing, like, for people who want to complain about cultural appropriation, they absolutely have no problem curb stomping on other people's culture and history. It's absolutely wild. Legal experts say Hollywood should brace for elevated scrutiny around diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. Fans were already doing that. It just needs to actually start taking place within corporate. Because, yeah. But, employers in the private sector could see a surge of reverse discrimination complaints. Reverse discrimination is not real. It is just discrimination. It's just discrimination. Like, that's it. I don't know how else to tell you that, but yeah, it's true. There is absolutely reverse racism isn't a thing. Reverse discrimination is not a thing. They are trying to put qualifiers in front of it to make it sound less bad. It's just discrimination. It's just racism. It's not race conscious. It's racism. It's not reverse discrimination. It's discrimination. Period. End of story. The legal challenges will be bolstered by the court's reasoning questioning the use of racial preferences in any context. Legally, the ruling is limited to higher education and likely won't directly affect companies, which are governed by a separate set of federal and state anti-discrimination laws that don't allow employers to consider race in hiring decisions. So they're not supposed to be doing it anyway, but they do. But its impact may soon be felt across Hollywood and beyond. Oh, please. From a shakeup in the pipeline of students that the entertainment industry would recruit to a chilling effect on businesses wary of litigation over hiring practices and programs aiming to boost diversity. So basically what they're saying is, we're sad we can't get away with treating other people like crap. Other people who we were irrationally and unnecessarily jealous of. Like, these are the people who look at anybody that's more successful than them, anybody at all, and rather than being motivated or inspired by that, they become jealous, bitter, and angry, and then they spend all their energy trying to tear that person down. Even hubby's bird our bird agrees. Yes, I hear you. I forget what kind of bird he is. He's not a parakeet. But he is from Australia. Cockatiel. That's what he is. He's a cockatiel. And he is very opinionated. There will be fights in the corporate setting. Very, very one-sided. Very one-sided. This decision has implications for how corporations think about their DEI programs, their commitments to affirmative action, and the like. So basically, what they're saying is now that there is going to be legal recourse for racism, now they're going to start actually looking into more merit-based hiring. That's why. Oh no, I have that on the different screen. Hold on. You guys are going to see me drag and drop. But that is okay. Anyway, so now that there is Now that there's going to be legal ramifications and they can't just get away with telling their fans and their like fans, like not even their fans of the property, and fans of the IP, now that they can't get away with that, now they're going to be more conscientious about it. Now they're going to try to make sure that they actually, you know, put some thought into their hiring practices, I guess. And it's not, they're not going to just lie about everything. And that's why we get titles like this. Come on, you can do it. Go big or go home. There we go. How to Train Your Dragon director addresses live action Astrid casting controversy. We're creating a fantasy, not historical fact. So now they want to hide behind, well, it's just fantasy, guys. Get over it. They're pulling this back out. It's not real. So we can do whatever we want, but that isn't true because the universe is already established. The rules of that universe are already established, and it is based on real, actual people, the Vikings, who were white. Like, they were white. There is no way around it. As anticipation for the live-action adaptation of How to Train Your Dragon builds, one casting choice has sparked a senseless debate. Senseless. Nico Parker, known for her breakout role as Sarah in HBO's Last of Us. I actually have no idea who she is. And HBO's... Notice how it doesn't say HBO's hit? It just says HBO's Last of Us. That's because it was not a hit. Was cast as Astrid, the fearless Viking warrior who serves as Hiccup's love interest in the series. But the casting has come with some criticism for one reason. Parker is white, nor does she have blonde hair. Dean DeBose took to Instagram to address the criticism, revealing that the casting process focused on finding actors who captured spirit and personality of the characters rather than adhering strictly to their animated counterparts. We auditioned many actors for the role, including actors who looked like their animated counterparts, he explained. He went on to explain how Parker's casting made sense for the story's world building. The tribe in this version is made up of descendants of the finest dragon fighters from everywhere the Vikings had ever traveled, which historically was far and wide. Vikings mixed with many cultures. Wait a minute, I thought we weren't doing historical fact, but now we're talking about how real Vikings mixed with many cultures. They didn't, by the way. They slaughtered, dominated, and took slaves, but they did not mix. That is something that was very apparent. Still, we're crafting a fantasy, not historical fact. So you're going to use false historical facts to give credence to your claim, but then in the next sentence, go with it's a fantasy, not historical fact. So you know that they didn't mix. You know that the Vikings did not mix with other people. They conquered and they crushed. Instead of a completely new tale, we aimed to embellish and deepen without abandoning the story that fans love. So here's the thing. Fans love Astrid the way she was. Fans loved the Astrid from the animated movies. This is insulting for so many reasons. I do not care. I do not care that Parker is black. She was in The Last of Us. I have blocked that show from memory. But the thing is, you are actually erasing a culture. You are actually erasing historical facts, while claiming that it's fantasy and you're not creating historical fact. If the shoe is on the other foot, this would never fly, and they know it. And this is what we're talking about. Like, those other articles were from 2023. And we're still dealing with this crap. We're still dealing with the gaslighting and the fan shaming and the insulting. And they think they're the good guys. They really, truly do. So it'll be really interesting based off of just that comment alone. This was obviously intentional. This was 100% intentional. This movie could make $1 billion because, I mean, I don't think any of the animated How to Train Your Dragons got, I know a couple of them got close, but none of them crossed like $1 billion. This could make 500 million. But the point is, you have what already worked. But because you don't, because you have these check boxes that you need to hit, and because you're not in here to make art, you're in here to make statements and use your platform to send out messaging, that we've ended up with soulless, depraved, anti-human work. Because it isn't fair to this girl that she's going to get dragged. Like, understand, when they cast her in this role, there could have been zero anything. I didn't see anything online until this article. Nobody was mad. Nobody was upset. People were just kind of rolled their eyes. Because like, oh, here we go again. And immediately the mainstream media jumps on it. So they did this like with the intention of putting this poor girl in the middle of their embellished, I'll use embellished controversy for clicks. And they're going to continuously try and point out different aspects of toxic masculinity, toxic fandom, toxic fans, all like white, that thing we can't say. I just, it blows my mind that they were willing to sacrifice this poor girl, put her in the middle of it, put all of these worms in her ears about how these people hate her. I have nothing against this actress. She's doing a job. Nothing against her whatsoever. She is doing a job. But the people who hired her, they have an agenda. They have an agenda. And they are willing to put her in the middle of their trumped up, pun intended, embellished controversy for clicks and for clout. They do not care about this young woman at all. Not in the least. They are willing to sacrifice whomever and however many it takes to try and reach their utopia. I'm going to tell you right now, utopia doesn't exist. It's not real. It is unattainable here. We shunned it when we turned our backs. Heaven is where perfection is. You can try to get close down here, but not this way. Certainly not by throwing innocent young girls into your sacrificial pit. Because that's what's happening. Hollywood is absolutely meat grinding these young actors and actresses. Look at what they did to Finn. We talked about this on my last live stream. Finn was absolutely advertised as the lead of The Force Awakens. He was going to be the next Jedi. The story was so much more compelling, what people thought, what the fan theories were. I can't even tell you how many, tens of billions of dollars Disney lost because they went with stale, with the plank of wood Rey character. Like, I am just flabbergasted at the, I've said it before, I'll say it again, absolutely emotional decision making that is happening in a business entity. A business entity is making emotional decisions. That is how you go bankrupt. That's how you go belly up. That's how you disappear. And then this poor girl is at the middle of it all. Like, Hollywood, I don't understand why people are like, oh, you know, like they care so much about us. They this, they that. No, they don't. They absolutely don't give two craps about you. And this, Hollywood has always been this way. Hollywood has always been this way. And like, I'm going to give you just a few seconds. Who was the first Black woman to win an Academy Award? Who was the first Black woman to win an Academy Award? Because they should be singing her praises to the freaking moon. Right? One would think, right? It's from a while ago, and it's from a movie that they hate. They hate now. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. I'll show you. Here we go. Ready? Ready, chat? The beautiful, talented, wonderful Hattie McDaniel. She won an Oscar in 1940 for her portrayal as Mammy in Gone with the Wind, which they are desperately trying to cancel because it's the side that is all about sympathetic villains is like, we can't show that the South wasn't pure evil. We can't show that. But Hattie McDaniel was the first Black woman to win an Oscar. All the way, it's been almost 100 years. Almost an entire freaking century, guys. We are at almost, like, I can't. We're at 84 years since this woman won an Oscar. Do you know what they did to this woman? What Hollywood did to this woman when she won. They made her stand out in the hall. They made the first Black woman who won an Oscar stand out in the hall. And she couldn't even come and accept the award. She couldn't even come and accept the award. That's how terrible this was. They made her stay out there. That was Hollywood in 1940. That was Hollywood in 1940. I don't know what to tell you outside of the fact that it's, I mean, obviously, it's obviously racist. But Hollywood has always been this way. We didn't make Hattie McDaniel stand out in the hall. We didn't prevent her from accepting her award. We were not the ones who were so distraught over this fact that this woman had bricks thrown at her house. She had a cross burned. Like, this was in Hollywood. This was the progressive utopia. Hollywood has always been this way. This woman was actually talented. This woman actually delivered one of the best performances of any actress I have ever seen. And they made her stand out in a hall. How sick, twisted, and depraved do you have to be to do that to another human being? But Hollywood isn't going to tell you that. Hollywood's not going to say that. Hollywood isn't going to bring up that they have always been this way. That the first black woman to ever win an Oscar was made to stand out in a hallway by them because they are actually racist. This is why they push that narrative so hard of can't get a loan, can't do this, can't do that. It's so bad. Guys, this was 84 years ago. 84 years. And yet we have this first black actress, this first black actress, this first black woman or this first woman of color. By the way, how is woman of color? I never hear man of color. Have you noticed that? I've never heard man of color. I've heard like African American male or a black male or black man, but you never hear man of color. You hear woman of color or women of color, but you don't hear men or man of color. Just throwing that out there. You never hear that. So it's wild to me when they try and say, oh, first this, first that, first this, first that. Bruh, you had an actual true talent who delivered one hell of a performance and actually earned and deserved the award that she won. And you didn't even let her have it. So I do not want to hear from Hollywood about any kind of ridiculous toxicity or anti-woman or racist crap. I don't want to hear it. I really don't. Because this isn't the 40s anymore. And I don't know why Hollywood is so desperate to go back and act like it is when they were the worst of the bunch. When they were the absolute worst of the bunch. Utterly disgusting. Hattie McDaniel. Remember that name. But yes, they are willing to drag young actresses and young actors into the middle of this for clout and for clicks because they're desperate and they're untalented hacks. So why not sacrifice somebody else? Sacrifice someone else so that they don't have to do it. Utterly insane. And that brings us to just a couple of days ago. Walmart rolls back DEI policies, becoming latest U.S. firm to join growing trend. You know why it's a growing trend? Because it is not profitable. It's that simple. It is not profitable. Walmart joins Ford, John Deere, Toyota, other major companies in ditching controversial DEI initiatives. They're not controversial. They're evil. Period. This isn't something that's up for debate. This is John Deere couldn't figure it out until it slapped them in the face. Tractor Supply went there. Like, these are people who they don't have time for this crap. We don't care who's ringing up our groceries. We don't care who's bringing us out our feed as long as it's somebody that's knowledgeable and capable. As long as you got hired because of your work ethic and because of your, at the very least, your willingness to try and learn the trade, we do not care what the color of your skin is. We do not care if you are a man or a woman. It does not matter to us as long as you are going to do the job and do it well. So it's insane to me that it took so long. But much like they had been predicting, the writing had been on the wall since, remember, December of 2022. And we're only just now starting to actually see some of it in practice. Walmart is making a slate of changes to its DEI policies, becoming the latest in a growing list of major corporations to halt so-called woke initiatives. There's nothing so-called about it. Anti-woke activist and filmmaker Robbie Starbuck, who had been leading a campaign exposing major corporations' woke policies, said on X on Monday that he warned Walmart executives last week he would be doing a story on wokeness at the retail giant. Instead, Starbucks shares, we had productive conversations to find solutions. Interesting. Starbucks outlined the changes Walmart agreed to make, including working to remove sexual and transgender products inappropriately marketed towards children. This is where they lost. They went after kids. And reviewing grants to Pride events to avoid funding sexualized content targeting kids. This is where you lost us. This is why the pushback is so hard. You came after our children. Walmart clarified that these changes have been in the works for a few years and were not a result of the conversation with Starbucks. So he didn't really do anything, but he's going to take credit for having the discussion at the very least. So a few years they've been working on these changes. They've implemented them really quickly, but boy golly gee, they're taking their time pulling it out, right? Not very strong pull-out game. It's because it's everywhere. Once it's in, it is a parasite. It doesn't let go. But it is being entirely rejected. The screaming blue-haired feminists can continue to scream all they want. They can continue to shout that you're racist, you're misogynistic, you're a phobe, you're toxic, you're anti-woman, and nothing would be further from the truth. And we're no longer scared of them because it doesn't affect us anymore. Like, you cannot sit there and continue to scream that the sky is falling. And when nothing continues to happen, but you continue to crush people under the heel of your vegan leather, vegan leather is so stupid. It's fake. Okay? Either wear leather or admit that you're poor. Don't try to sound uppity with your vegan leather BS. But that's a whole other stream. But unfortunately, the trend is growing, and there will always be people who do not get the memo. Sharon Stone says ignorant and uneducated Americans to blame for Trump re-election. The actress had some strong words about America when discussing politics at the Turin Film Festival. Listen, you're entitled to your opinion, and her career has been over for a very long time. But I cannot honestly think of a person who's going to take what Sharon Stone says seriously. I cannot think of a single person who has any self-respect that is going to listen to the words of a woman who's literally famous for flashing her lady bits on camera. Like, literally. That's it. You know, Italy has seen fascism. Yeah, they're called Yazis. The bad guys from World War II. Good Lord. Italy has seen these things. You guys, you understand what happens. You've seen this before. My country is in adolescence. Adolescence is very arrogant. Adolescence thinks it knows everything. Adolescence is naive and ignorant and arrogant. And we are in our ignorant, arrogant adolescence. That was a whole lot of repetition. Phew. This is what happens when these people don't have writers. So Americans who don't travel, who 80% don't have a passport, that's because America is naturally diverse. Have you seen our landscapes? We have mountains, we have valleys, we have deserts, we have lakes, we have 2 oceans, we have a Gulf, we have the Caribbean. Like, it's plenty diverse. It really, truly is. We've got cities, we've got small towns, we've got farms, we've got ranches, we have all kinds of transportation. Like, we're naturally diverse. stuff it, who are uneducated. Oh, don't worry. We're going to get to Blab's tweet in a second. She absolutely eviscerated this witch. Are in their extraordinary naivete. What I would say is that the only way that we can help with these issues is to help each other. You don't want to help anyone. You want everybody to think like you because you haven't gotten the memo. Your handlers have not downloaded the most recent, I don't even know, chip upgrade, DLC, whatever. Whatever you missed, it was pretty big. Everybody around the world doesn't want this, Sharon. The UK is literally signing a petition to hold an emergency general election because they literally hate the people that are leading them. They had buyer's remorse within 6 days. They aren't even a full 6 months into this administration, and they want to get rid of them. Like, that's how bad things are, Sharon. It's not fascism. It's called a republic. And it did its job. Just fucking like the fact that this woman from her multi-$1,000 mansion is going to call other people ignorant and arrogant because they haven't traveled. Have you looked at the economy, Sharon? Nobody can afford that shit. You are so detached from reality and from normal people that it's wildly insane. Fun fact, not only am I incredibly well educated, though sometimes I like to downplay it, but not only do I have multiple degrees, I traveled a lot. I have seen a crap ton. And here's what I will tell you. Unless you are a history buff or a true foodie who wants to go and try like super authentic dishes, which in and of itself is a type of history, like people are pretty much the same everywhere you go. Some are good, some are evil, like I mean genuinely evil. Some places are beautiful, some places suck. Some food is great, some food is not so great. Not everybody understands you, you don't understand everybody. And I mean that with language and just with personality. We are literally all human. What I will tell you is that when you go to certain parts of the world, they do view women as not even second class, but like third or fourth class citizens. Women in the West have it so good. Women in America have it so good. And they want to bitch and complain about being oppressed and not having access to stuff. It's wild to me. It's just utterly insane to me. But I digress. I respect the results of the vote. No, you don't. Even if I don't like the president, I respect his role. No, you don't. Somebody did coach her a little bit. She's trying to do something. So she's attempting to play nice. This is democracy. No, it's not. We live in a republic. I don't know what will happen in the future. I'm not a fortune teller. I don't even know if there will be an authoritarian turn. These people are so desperate. So desperate for the boogeyman to be real that they are trying to will him into existence. What is that shit they say? Oh my gosh. Manifest. They are trying to manifest like the slaughter of millions of people. That's what they're trying to do. There are 200 people in government who have to convince 200 million people in society. It won't all happen in an instant. The population of the United States is approximately 335 million people. Of that, less than 200 million are able to vote, whether because of age or in some states if you have like a felony. So, and some people, and some of them are just too, like, they're on the other end. It's not that they're too young, it's that they're too old or they're on their deathbed or what have you. So 335 million people, less than 200 million people are eligible to vote. And of those that vote or that are able to vote, only about 180 million, 170 million are registered. Well, I have to look at Scott. If you guys have not been following Scott Pressler, by the way, he's amazing. He's the reason Pennsylvania flipped red. He's 100% the reason Pennsylvania flipped red. But it's somewhere to the effect of, like, it's not a third of Americans. It's a third of eligible American voters. So it's somewhere in the range of, like, I think it's like it's a third of eligible American voters are not registered. I'm trying to remember his tweet. That's a pretty big chunk. So a third of eligible voters are not registered. So that means there's around 100, and I think there's like 145 or 150 Americans who are registered to vote, and not all of them showed up to vote in this previous election. And there's a third of Americans who are eligible to vote who are not even registered. So you're not trying to convince 200 million people. You're trying to convince about 85 million. About 85 million. Because if you can get that onto your side, depending on where, it depends on the states too, because of the Electoral College. But no, it's not 200 million people. There are people who have no idea about politics. None. Zero. Zilch. Nada. Outside of what they see on, like, CNN in the airport. So there are 200 people in government who have to convince 200 million people in society. It won't all happen in an instant. No, because people are different entities with their own thoughts, feelings, and persuasions, with their own ideas. Even if you agree on, perfect example. If you ask people in America, okay, is smoking in the car with a child bad? 20 years ago, a bunch of them would say no. As research has come out, and we've had the spike in asthma and lung cancer in people who've never smoked. That's why that whole secondhand smoke kills thing was on forever and ever and ever and ever, and you'll still see it sometimes. Even to this day, people are like, yeah, you know, kids getting cancer is bad, but I don't think we should make adults stop smoking in the car with kids, because it's ultimately the adult's decision. Like, you are never, ever going to get everybody on one side of any issue. Ever. It's not going to happen. And to think otherwise, I mean, it's just pure ignorance and pride at that point. Like, it's just insanity if you think you can. Speaking about the reasons for the defeat of the Democratic candidate Kamala Harris, Stones, there's a lot, but it's mostly because she's insufferable and nobody voted for her, and they literally usurped the entire American population to appoint her and then told their party to roll over and take it. And a lot of them did. A lot of them had their eyes open too and walked away, thank God. Did we really get to know her in just 3 months and with just one TV debate? Was she the right person? I can't say. What? This is more gaslighting, because the thing is, she didn't even make it through, like, nobody voted for her when she ran in 2020. She got absolutely curb stomped by Tulsi Gabbard. No, but she hasn't, like, this is the thing about Sharon Stone. This is how detached she is and why you should never listen to these people. For someone who claims that it was uneducated individuals that got Trump elected. I would say the exact opposite is true because we actually educated ourselves on the necessary topics at hand. Kamala Harris has been in politics for decades, and she has eviscerated and destroyed almost every community that she has ever been a part of or ever had any involvement with in any kind of role or capacity. She helped deliver California to the absolute shit stain that it currently is. There's a reason people fled. Gavin Newsom and Kamala Harris, along with several others, have managed to turn the Golden State into, I can't even call it like the Gilded State at this point. Like, it's not even fake. It's not even painted on gold. It's like chipping away. If you guys have ever seen Inherit the Wind with the Golden Dancer, the rocking horse, he finally, so I can't play it because I will get hit. But he and his friend are sitting on the porch and he's talking about Golden Dancer. Like, what? Golden Dancer. Oh, we couldn't afford it. And there was this rocking horse in that corner store. And oh, it shone in the sun and it was so beautiful. Well, I woke up one morning and there she was at the foot of my bed, Golden Dancer. I hopped on and I was so excited. And his friend was like, well, what happened? He goes, it broke. Dry rot from sitting in the sun. It's the same, like it looked pretty, but it was absolutely deteriorated from the abuse of being in the elements. Well, California suffered the abuse of Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom, and so many others who have been taking California to the cleaners, and now they can't hide it anymore. There are poop maps to tell you where poop is on the street. There is homelessness, drug addiction, alcoholism, orphans, widows, widowers, none of them, and they're just aimlessly wandering around. Philadelphia is getting that bad. Austin is getting there. It's the Californication. It's a disease and it's bad. And she helped ring it in. So for Sharon Stone to sit there and say, we actually don't know anything about Kamala Harris. Yeah, we do. And none of it's good. You know what's going on from the news. No, you don't. The news is biased and one-sided, as we've seen. Thank God for X. But Information America is driven by money. No, it's driven by ideology. Money is pretty easy. Ideology is far more complicated and sinister. It's a business. That's why there's a void in information on the biggest issues in the world. Americans know little or nothing on climate change, on Ukraine. Bitch, I bet I know more than you on both. That void is filled in part by the film industry, by documentaries, and narrative films. How many people did the Eternals save again? They saved lives, right? Saved lives. Unfreaking believable. The ego on this woman. So now that you have that context, Blabs absolutely destroyed her. I love Blabs. If you're not subscribed to Blabbering Collector, Blabbering C, you should be. You absolutely should be, because she's amazing. She is, she does a lot of behind the scenes stuff with some Aussie friends. She is a huge Harry Potter buff. She does side scroller pods. She produces for them. She is absolutely fantastic. And she says, my sibling and I are firstborn generation in America on my mother's side. She is a citizen too. I am fluent in multiple languages. I've lived in another country. I've traveled to other continents. I've graduated from what is considered an Ivy League college outside of the USA. Bye. And does the peace sign. I love Blabs so freaking much. She is absolutely amazing. But yes, the amount of people that Sharon Stone is insulting because she didn't get the memo about, hey, the modern audience isn't a thing. We are actually in the minority and we're losing badly. But just how badly? Sharon's trying to say that these are uneducated, arrogant, essentially illiterate, dumb people, right? And they don't actually know what's going on. And they don't actually push trends or anything like that. Well, this seems like a pretty big trend to be getting rid of DEI policies. But look at this one. It's not just in business. It's in beauty.
Turns out caving to the woke mob isn't worth it when...
Shush, you. Nobody said to start there, Fox News. Sorry, guys. Deflating boobs, shrinking butts, and little lips. The de-Kardashianification, oh good lord, of America. Plastic surgeons on both coasts are noticing a clear trend. Women are eschewing exaggerated hourglass figures and injectables for a more athletic, less obviously redone look. So what they're saying is natural. Natural. That's what they're doing. It wasn't so long ago, last year, in fact, that social media was awash with what would be with, I can't even read it. Like, it's such a mishmash. Social media was awash with would-be Kardashians. Super straight, shiny hair, bee-stung lips. Oh, God, I remember that stupidity. Covering blindingly white teeth, doe eyes streaked with mascara, and a wasp waist dividing an ample butt and prominent breasts. But in tandem with the rise of Ozempic and other GLP-1 medications, the image is fading fast. It's not Ozempic. This is an unhealthy lifestyle to put all of those injections and all of that filler and all of those implants in you. It's bad for you. It's horrible for your health. And women are trying to get healthier. It isn't just that they're trying to get thinner. They want to get healthier. Even the Kardashians themselves are deflating, with butts apparently reduced and fillers seemingly dissolved. But as always in plastic surgery, it's all about the details, and those vary from industry to industry. THR asked surgeons on both coasts to reveal what their clients are asking for these days. Less conspicuous is more. Lips and even breast reductions are on the rise, along with tummy tucks to make the midsection look more fit, says New York plastic surgeon Darren Smith. He also reports a 25% uptick in mini arm lifts, which give the area a more streamlined and toned appearance, without the unsightly scars of a true brachioplasty. Yeah, because here's the thing. On women, when you start to gain weight, where you hold it is right there in your uterus area and your freaking arms and your thighs. Like, we are meant to hold fat. So it starts to stick on your arms. And so one of the fastest ways to tell if a woman is hefty, like if she's in shape, but she's just bigger, like you guys have seen, not bodybuilder big. I'm not talking about that. But like the farm girls, country girls, like corn-fed country girls but they do manual labor, but they're not a stick. Fastest way to tell if they're actually just like the husky kind, or if they're not, they're actually super unhealthy. Look at a woman's arms. How flabby are they? How toned are they? Because if you've got a woman who's got a big bust and some big hips, and she doesn't necessarily dress to the nines, she just likes her sweatshirt and her jeans or whatever, fastest way is you look at the arms and thighs. That's where you look. Because farm girls, ranch girls never get, at a lot of female athletes, they are never going to be sticks. It's just how they are. But you can still tell if they take care of themselves, if they're active. I'm not talking like marathon runners or anything like that. But a girl who's active is not going to have flabby arms. It's really you just have to look at the upper arm area. And that's really it. So, that's why they're getting that work done right there. It's also one of the last places we lose weight. I see a 20% increase in women coming in for lifts this year over last, notes Lila Leppinger, Chief of Plastic and Reconstructive Surgery at both North Shore University Hospital and Long Island Jewish Medical Center. And those that want implants only want to go up 1 bra size, which is significant because it used to be you wanted to go up 4 or 5 cup sizes, and now they don't want that anymore. If there were ever a subtitle that were more true, but LA is gonna LA. And that is 100% the fact. Sharon Stone and her cohorts, they're the ones who live in a bubble. They are the closed-minded bigots. They are the ones who are detached from reality. Even when it comes to beauty standards, LA is gonna try and buck whatever is going on in the rest of the world and claim to be like what is actually going on, or what is actually the truth, or what is actually the thing. Some things don't change. LA still wants bigger boobs, an average of 200 CCS more per implant than on the East Coast, says plastic surgeon Troy Pittman. I looked it up. That's huge. That's like going from a B cup to a triple D. That's insane. Absolutely insane. Safer stuff. Pittman reports that women nationwide are clamoring for Motiva, the new implants approved in September by the FDA that are more biocompatible, meaning there's less risk of rupture or capsular contraction that results in hardening. They've put to bed a lot of safety issues and are a game changer, he says. Injectable backlash. The country is in the grip of filler fear. Dr. Annie Chewy, who has a practice in Redondo Beach, feels it's largely a result of social media. And it's 100% true. All of these 22-year-olds look like they're in their 40s. They look older than me. I'm in my 30s, and there are 22-year-olds who are destroying themselves. Destroying themselves for no reason. We're facing an injectable backlash, and the filler market has been down in 24. Thank God. At first, everyone was encouraged to get that very contoured, overfilled Instagram face. But now there's a real fear of looking weird. It shouldn't be, this is the other thing, it shouldn't be a fear of looking weird. It should be a fear of how you are destroying and deteriorating your bone structure. Of how you are destroying and deteriorating your natural face. The point of plastic surgery, much like the point of the body positivity movement, was to help people with true afflictions. Children with that were born with like a cleft lip. That used to be a death sentence in some countries. Like if they had a cleft lip, if you guys don't know what that is, here, I'll quickly bring that up. It used to be a death sentence in certain countries because you'll see here in a second, it's so heartbreaking. The baby can't latch. They can't suck on like a bottle or a nipple because it can't close properly. So this is called a cleft palate or a cleft lip. This is what plastic surgery is supposed to help fix. So that these babies have a chance at life. Like they fix it so that the baby can actually nurse. That's what it's supposed to be for. Like that's what this is meant to try and help fix. Right? Because before, like you can even see in the hair and stuff when like these infants were not getting nutrition. They were slowly wasting away because they wouldn't be able to like seal. It didn't matter if it was a bottle. It didn't matter if it was a breast. They weren't able to nurse. And so they'd have to get fed like via a tube. And so anybody that has ever been on any kind of, like, if you've ever had jaw surgery or if you've ever been on any type of IV diet where they hook it straight into your belly, you don't actually get full, and you definitely don't get the same amount of nutrients. And you're tired. It's just bad. So this is what it was supposed to help fix. It was to help children so they could have a more normal, like, I can't believe that that's a bad word now, but a more normal, healthy life that allowed them to actually eat food. This is what plastic surgery was supposed to help with. But just like anything that was made with good intentions, it had some greedy people got a hold of it. Vain people got a hold of it, and they used it to alter themselves, sometimes in like freakish ways. But that is what this was for. And the body positivity movement was for people who were like severe burn victims or amputees, people like that. It wasn't so that Bertha, who needs 3 plane seats just to be able to fit but doesn't want to pay for the other 2, can bitch and complain about how they're being targeted. It's just insane to me. Like, look at what it was meant for, and think about the horrors that we see now on social media of what it's been used for. I would never, like, people are like, oh, so you're against plastic surgery. And I'm like, no, you're misunderstanding. There are things where plastic surgery is incredibly necessary. Incredibly necessary. Cleft lips, cleft palates. There's, you've got burn victims who need skin grafting. You have amputees so that they can get some type of relief on their skin. Plastic surgeons can help with that. Plastic surgeons can help with humpbacks that would allow people to actually like sit up and breathe properly. They can help with, it even brought it up, breast reduction, which is a huge thing for a lot of women who are naturally well endowed that have breathing problems because they're so large in the chest. There is so much good that gets done out there. There's so much good. But then you have these people who take it over and pervert it from what it was, and they make it all about themselves. And that is a problem. That is a real problem. My colleagues think that LA is more overdone, but there is bad work everywhere, especially Miami and Dallas, Texas and Florida. And the Housewives of New York don't exactly have that subtle look. Chewy points out that the counteraction was felt by Kristen Davis when she appeared in And Just Like That. She is a consummate New Yorker and was attacked online for being overfilled, but she had it corrected and now looks better. Howard Sobel, a New York dermatologist, reported that his patients from LA still want a fuller, more rounded face than his New Yorkers request. They want an exaggerated feminine look because that gets you noticed, but that look has never been New York. They bring in pictures of celebrities they want to look like, but they don't even have similar facial structures. Yeah, this is where it gets wild. They start shaving your bone, like your facial, to change your face structure. They will shave your jaw. They will shave your cheekbones, your ocular, like your, what's that called? Your orbital bones. They'll shave those, or they'll like add in fake bone that they usually use for, like they'll do a bone graft to fill in around your orbital bone if that's what you need or want. Like some of the stuff that they do is horrifying to like, the bad guys from World War II would be so proud of the sick things that some of these plastic surgeons do. One alternative to filling with injectables is boosting your own system, including the use of salmon DNA to stimulate regeneration. For those who crave a lit from within glow without that overfilled look, the future of skin rejuvenation is all about biohacking, said dermatologist Anita Rezko. I do not recommend this either, by the way. I'm just reading the article. Enter growth factors and polynucleotides like Regerin, the ultimate tools for cellular regeneration, cranking up collagen production and dialing in elasticity, hydration, and that coveted snapback firmness. This isn't just skincare, it's a movement for fresher, firmer, and natural results. I'm going to tell you right now, don't mess with another creature's DNA. That's how you get splice. I'm just saying. Like, just eat a healthy diet and drink water. Like, this is the thing about these women and men who are addicted to plastic surgery or who have these certain, I don't even know what to call them because they're not even beliefs. Like, they want to, that's why Ozempic was such a big thing. It was supposed to be the pill. You could eat anything you wanted and still be skinny. That's what they want. That's the reason that it all boils down to the same thing with every issue across the board. It doesn't matter if it's fitness, it doesn't matter if it's reproduction, it doesn't matter if it's religion, it doesn't matter if it's freaking a job. Like just basic having a job. These individuals want to do nothing. They want to do nothing and still get the benefits. They don't want to work, but they want to get paid. They don't want to exercise, but they want to be in shape. They don't want to be respectful of their bodies and, monogamous, but they still want people to view them as like righteous and virtuous. That they want to do none of the work and reap all of the benefits across the board. That's all they want. So no, please do not go out there and mess with salmon DNA. I am not suggesting this, but it is well known. It's well known that eating fish is great for your skin, your hair, your nails. Just eat it the way God intended. Cook it, consume it, exercise, drink water, get sleep. Like, that is genuinely, truly the basis of it. You are what you eat. I know I'm not the only one that's ever heard that before. Facelifts, get a facelift. Ironically, facelifts are now seen as less drastic and altering than injectables, and even fat that was routinely added during a lift is being avoided. I continue to see an increasing number of patients trading years of fillers for a facelift, and many of them are adamant about not looking overfilled with fat grafting. I'll get to fat grafting in a second, says Sean Alamy, a New York facial plastic surgeon. In fact, I would say that I'm performing almost 80% of my facelifts without fat these days. It's a new era. The reason? Here's the thing. The people getting facelifts are the one trying to get, like it just said, they're trying to get the injections and the fillers out because they've already destroyed their skin. So now they think if they take it out and they pull their face up, that it's going to be like an Etch-a-Sketch and you can just shake it and erase it. And that's not how it works. They've already done the damage. Fat grafting is supposed to be because fat is actually what helps make you feel like, makes you look younger. It's like, that's like the baby, it's the baby's chubby cheeks. Yeah, that's like if you have that more rounded face, you tend to look younger. If you have not an excessive amount, but if you have fat in certain areas on your face, it makes you look younger. It keeps your skin tighter. It helps you keep that youthful appearance. So people turn to fat grafting over facelifts because facelifts are horrifying. Like, I can show you what a facelift looks like. And so if these people go from fat grafting to facelifts, they're still going to have skin problems. But again, they don't want to put in the work. They just want somebody to wave a magic wand and for them to look a certain type of way. And some of us, some of us hit the ugly tree, every branch on the way down when we fell out of it. It's just the truth. Can't be helped. Okay? So that's neither here nor there, though. But the fact that we're turning from injections back to facelifts, not exact, like, it's what was old is new again. We're just repeating cycles at this point. Fashionably late. The typical customers for bodywork long have been women from their 20s to their 40s. But doctors notice a trend of people who come from such procedures later than even before. I now have women in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s coming in to get their breasts and tummies done. And I will reiterate that this is because we have infantilized people. And now people think that you can just easily pop out a kid at like 55. You cannot easily pop out a kid at 55. And by the time that kid is 55, or by that time that kid is 20, you're going to be 75. Like, this is something I wish more people would understand. The longer you wait to have children, the less time you have with them in this life. It's that simple. But yeah, it doesn't shock me that you have women in their 60s, 70s, and 80s coming to get their breasts and tummies done, because those are all the stars, movie stars from the 80s and 90s. They're in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. Tom Cruise is knocking on, isn't he 64 or something? Like, these women are all up there in age. And they're trying to stop time, but they can't. Start them young. That's creepy. People may be getting work done later, but they are also starting earlier and doing less drastic surgeries, some even without going under. It's the tweakment movement, says Almi. People in their 40s don't want to wait until aging affects their entire face, so they are getting lower eyelid skin pinches and upper lid lifts to get rid of hooding, using just local anesthesia. It freshens without changing the shape of the face. Lipings has also witnessed a marked increase in requests for mini facelifts from women in their 40s. You could just age gracefully by eating healthy, being active. You don't even have, I'm not saying go spend 6 hours at the gym. I'm saying go on a 20-minute walk. Like, that's all, like, you just go on a 20-minute walk. Be active. Play tennis. Tennis is like, okay, if you play tennis with me, you better be more than just slightly active, because I'm really competitive. My dad and I, every time that we get to link back up because we live so far apart, we don't. So I'm not a fan of volleyball. I have a little sister who is, so I will play with her. But she is like insanely good. And because it was never my sport, I'm not super good. I am way older than my little sister. Like, almost, I am 18 years older than my baby sister. Yeah, one of those, surprise to my parents, but good surprise. Love her to pieces. She's actually a beauty queen. Sometimes your siblings win the genetic lottery, and I'm so proud of her. She's amazing. She is going to do incredible things. But I digress. So we play volleyball. Oh, she wipes the floor with me. She's so good. But then we play basketball. And every time she'll be like, Sissy, you're being mean. And I'm like, sorry. She'd be like, Sissy, please slow down. Can't do that. There's basketball and volleyball are two very different games. And she won't play tennis with me. She refuses to play tennis with me. But I digress. We have so much fun. But my dad and I, when we play tennis, or we'll play volleyball or squash or something like that. My best friend and my sister's husband So my brother-in-law, my sister, my other sister, I've got 3 sisters. She does not play sports. She hates them. She leaves. She gone, right? But like when we're playing, oh my gosh, my dad and I, the level of shit talking that happens between us. My mom actually thought that it was gonna like affect. She was like, "Oh my gosh, like the way you guys treat each other when you are playing basketball or tennis or squash or when you guys are swimming against each other." My dad, I'm so pissed because I swam competitively for years. I set records with the breaststroke, but my dad will kick my dad is obviously much older than me, still kicks my ass on the freestyle. Pisses me off to no end. I keep trying to get faster, but he's just like naturally faster than I am. I told him, I was like, it's okay, I'll beat you one day when you're like 80. And he just laughs. I was like, I'm serious. But it is one of my goals in life to beat my dad in the 100-meter freestyle. But anyway, there you go. You guys got a little family story. Hope you liked it. It doesn't shock me that these women are trying to stop from aging rather than just aging gracefully. Like, go outside on a walk. Take up a sport of some kind that's low impact. I'm not saying you have to play basketball or volleyball. Heck, even tennis is pretty hard on your joints, I'm not going to lie. But swimming? Come on. Anybody can get in a pool. It is one of the lowest impact sports you can do. Just get in a pool and do laps for 15, 20 minutes a day. You're going to see the effects in like 10 days. You're going to lose pant sizes within 3 weeks. You shrink at least 1, if not more, pant sizes. It's wild to me that they will go through all of these medications and surgeries and scalpels. Like, I don't trust another human being at all to get that close to my face with a scalpel or my spine. Like, that's another thing that's been happening. So back fat is a thing. When you don't take care of yourself, you get back rolls. Well, they're going and having those removed. Like, bro, that's next to your spine. That is everything. That is your nervous system highway. I do not trust another human being enough to go anywhere near there with a scalpel. Are you kidding? I'm sorry. Like, I know that a lot of these, like, because here's the thing. If I ever needed that or wanted that or thought I needed it, I'd be the one where it like got botched. That'd be me. I'd be the warning story. I do not trust another human being that close to my vital organs. I really don't, unless it would be absolutely necessary. Like if I've got like a T-post sticking out of my back or something after a freaking twister. I have no idea. See, that's even outlandish. Like, I try to go to the doctor as little as humanly possible. That is my whole goal in life. I don't necessarily dislike doctors, but I dislike being sick. So I try very hard to not be sick so that I don't have to go see the doctor. The doctors are also very expensive. I digress. Dermatologist Soren White says his colleagues in LA are seeing patients come in even earlier for anti-aging. In LA, it's not unusual for an 18 or 20-year-old to come in for filler. It's a rite of passage, he says. No, it's not. That's horrifying. You're 18. You're 20. You still have your baby face. Stop. Just stop. It is unnecessary. I don't understand why. I can't. I don't know what to do. I am just. I wish these girls would understand. They don't need it. Your body is going to change so much. So much. Even in just like the next couple years. Just literally stay away from alcohol and sugar in general. I know that's really hard. I have a massive sweet tooth. But like, if you just stay away from sugar, drink more water, drink less pop, drink less like what you call coffee. I'm going to show you guys something. All right, I'm going to put a, what is it called? Poll in the chat. All right? I'm going to put something on the screen. And I want you guys to tell me if this is coffee or not. So you're going to see the poll here in just a second. And I'm going to bring up the picture. And you guys go ahead and tell me. This, I really do believe this was like, God, I want to say this was almost 10 years ago now. How many of you guys remember the unicorn drink from Starbucks? It was like a unicorn frappuccino or something. Is that coffee? Like, honest to God. Does this look like coffee to you? Here we go. Flavor changing unicorn frappuccino. It looks like it's coming out of its ass. Like, I recognize that this is supposed to be a cloud with a unicorn head, but like it looks like a fat unicorn. And it's farting as it's hopping away from the frappuccino because it gives you the poo-poos. Like, at no point would I look at this and see coffee. This is not a thing. This is not coffee. You like sugar with a splash of coffee in it. I don't even know what the, hold on. Nutrition label. You guys are going to see me type. I'm going to break all the rules. Here we go. 500 calories. 500 calories, guys. 76 grams of sugar. 76 grams of sugar. Bruh. 55 milligrams of 310 milligrams of sodium. 79 grams of carb. By the way, carbohydrate is just another word for sugar. Zero dietary fiber. I believe that wholeheartedly. So you actually have to add carbohydrates and sugar for your actual total sugar count, which is, what is that, 15? 155 grams of sugar. Hold on. What does that look like? Help me. 4 grams of sugar is 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon of sugar is 4 grams. And there was 155 grams of sugar in that drink. So you have to take 155 divided by 4. So that's 3. So 12. So 35. So 8. That's 38 teaspoons of sugar. What the? That's insane. I can't even, my brain hurts. 155 divided by 4, right? Because 4 goes into 15 3 times. So that's 12. So 15 minus 12, that's 3. That's 35. 8. Yeah, so it's 8. Yeah, because 9 is 36. Yeah, 8 is 32. So that's 18 and some change teaspoons of sugar. Like, that's what the? That's too much sugar. How much sugar is too much sugar? That drink. This is too much sugar. Don't drink this. This is diabetes in a cup. I don't drink Starbucks anyway because of how they treat vets and service members. Dazzling, delicious, and oh so rare. The unicorn frappuccino. This is wild to me. But women drink stuff like this on a daily basis. On a daily basis. And they wonder why they're exhausted and their teeth hurt and that and they need so much work on their teeth and their bones are weak and brittle. And why they don't have any energy. It's because they drink this shit. Drink water. Drink milk. Real milk, not that soy shit. I'm sorry if you're lactose intolerant. That's rough. But sweet Jesus, just admit that you drink your dessert that has a splash of coffee. Because this is not coffee. This is just not coffee. There's no way you look at that and are like, yes, that is coffee. That's 100% what I think of when I think of coffee. This is wild to me. And it doesn't matter if it's Starbucks, if it's Dunkin', if it's Hortons. Doesn't matter if it's, what's another one? I know there's more. Oh, what's the one with the windmill? Dutch Bros. Like, it doesn't matter if it's McDonald's. It is not real coffee. Just like, for the love of God. Independent coffee shops may be better. I'm not 100% on that. I know if it's a small mom and pop shop, usually like at bakeries, you'll get real coffee. You've got decaf or caffeine. So you've got caffeinated or decaffeinated. That, like, those are your choices. And you can get cream and 2 sugars. Like, that's what they have. Panera also has coffee, quote coffee, but again, it's not real coffee. Like, you're so far removed from coffee at this point. You are drinking dessert and adding a splash of coffee to make yourself feel better, but you don't actually drink coffee. You're not actually drinking coffee. Bitter bean juice, as I like to call it. I hate coffee. But my husband was like, hey, I'll go move up to the mountains with you if you'll sit on the front porch and drink a cup of coffee with me every morning. I was like, deal. That's all it takes. I'll find a way. I will do it. But that's 18 to 20-year-olds are getting fillers. They are destroying their youth in an attempt to not age. This one made me... You guys will understand when I finish reading it. When it comes to smiles, LA has more of a brighter, bigger wow effect, and it doesn't have to look natural, says Larry Rosenthal, New York dentist whose patients have included Donald and Ivanka Trump and Sumner Redstone. In New York, people want a wider smile. Dr. Mark Lowenberg, whose office has treated the teeth of Martha Stewart, Julianne Margulis, Heidi Klum, and Cindy Crawford, says New York patients specifically asked to not have the West Coast style. I have a guy in my chair right now who said he doesn't want his teeth to walk in the room before he does. People say, I don't want Hollywood white. Things have been toned down, but in general, in LA, they call more attention to your smile than we do here. Yeah, because you're supposed to be in front of cameras all the time. Like, that's the idea, right? If you're in LA, you're in Hollywood, you want to have those bright whites. But I digress. The fact, I kind of glossed over it real quick, but listen here, computer, we've already had this discussion. It doesn't have to look natural. That's kind of the key takeaway here, honestly. Like, LA is so much in its own bubble. It's so different from everybody else. And they're like, look at us. Like, we're the best and we're different and unique. But then at the same time, they claim that they are the representation of what the real world is, or at least what it should be. And as we're seeing, it doesn't matter if it's in film, doesn't matter if it's in beauty, it doesn't matter if it's in schooling, in dietary, in beauty standards. They don't represent anybody but their own narcissistic selves. And they hate each other. Oh, drives me insane. Cosmetic dentist Lana Rosenberg, who tends to the mouths of Justin Thoreau, Clive Owen, and Helena Christensen, said patients have become more participative in the artistic end of smile improvement thanks to AI. With new software such as Overjet and Smilefy, I don't like that at all, patients can envision their future smiles before going through the process of placing crowns or veneers on their teeth. Don't do it! Unless it is absolutely medically necessary, don't get a crown and don't get veneers. Definitely don't get veneers. They shave down your real teeth and then they bond the fake tooth over your real tooth and it never fits. And you look like American Psycho. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Go through, get braces. Go to an orthodontist. Do it excuse me. Do it in a safe way that has long-term lasting effects that isn't going to destroy your jaw, that isn't going to deteriorate your mouth. I'm just blown away at, they really do. Their solution to everything is to either pump, inject it in or shave it off. Go under the scalpel or under the laser or sand down your teeth rather than just taking the time to put in work. They've got Invisalign now, or they've got clear braces. You honestly can't even really tell that you're wearing them from a distance. Now, I get it. If your job is to smile and look pretty at cameras, which apparently we're not allowed to say anymore for whatever reason, that's one thing. But if it's not, just take the time to do it right. Don't get veneers. Please don't do it. Lowenberg feels that DC is still even more under the radar. The veneers have always been more conservative, with the exception of Joe Biden's, which were so white that people commented on them. Yeah, if anybody thought that Joe Biden's teeth were real, you've lost it. Noses have also become more natural. Surgeons say goodbye to have the upturned and button varieties. Noses have changed. We try to leave more structure behind now. You want a nose that fits. If you have a broad face, a tiny-ass nose looks ridiculous. Yes. That's yes. It never looked good. And the throngs of women who were convinced to spend tens of thousands of dollars to get an ugly-ass nose in the middle of their face. It's just heartbreaking. I'll have what Tom Cruise is having. Buccal fat removal, once a hugely popular procedure in LA that sharpened facial contours, is on sharp decline. Yeah, that's because it's terrible for you and it makes you age faster. I'm getting fewer requests for it now because it can accelerate the aging process. Listen here, computer. Aging process and make people look gaunt, observes Carl Truesdell, a Beverly Hills facial plastic surgeon. Truesdell says there's a greater emphasis on the neck now, including removing some salivary glands. Again, drink more water. Just drink more water. Men see that Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise are looking younger, and they are opting for a sharper jawline. Well, yeah, because it's masculine, which can be achieved with subdermal gland removal and muscle tightening. Not all docs are fans of this controversial procedure, as it is aggressive and can affect the production of saliva. Yeah, again, if it's going to jack with your body's natural, abilities, don't do it. I don't understand. It's just mind-blowing. No more fox eye. Truesdale also is seeing less lateral brow lift, a swing Matt Gaetz seemed to have. Oh, notes Truesdale. Last year, people asked to look like Bella Hadid, but this year the fox eye is downtrending, said Robert Schwartz. That's because Bella Hadid is a unique, there's a reason it works on her and not a lot of other faces, and that's part of what makes her so unique, which is why she's so sought after as a supermodel. I digress. Says the classic severe brow lift, which alters the hairline, has made way for a more subtle forehead adjustment. Brow lifts are trending on social media due to the popularity of the temporal lift, a shortened version which addresses the tail of the brow. This gives a lift to the upper eyelids without a surprised look. So, like the stereotypical cartoonish eyebrows, we're finally getting away from those, apparently. I'm going to repeat. Just drink more water. So, we're seeing the trend in Hollywood. We're seeing the trend in businesses. And we're seeing it in the beauty market. One place where this trend showed up and is just refusing to die is in books. Now, if you guys have been around this channel for any length of time, you know what a fan of books I am. Big fan. Love them. I love them. Love the books. They're great. They're fantastic. You gotta love books. So I was curious as I was noticing the trends happening away from excess and vanity and narcissism and pride. I'm noticing all of these stuff detrending. And if you guys have ever been on Instagram, so a troubled green, one of someone very near and dear to me. She is such a sweetheart. We talked about this. The reason I have an Instagram that I don't use, by the way, is because I used to do Bookstagram. And much like plastic surgery and the body positivity movement, it started out with good intentions, with a very wholesome purpose. It was supposed to be a fast, easy way for either up-and-coming authors or authors who were trying to break out of like their usual genre mold to present their books, to present their ideas, and to like you'd get to see books that you liked and could sort of like recommend. It was a really fun way to do book recommendations and to sort of like discover new authors, if that makes sense. It quickly went down the tube because all of the in denial that they are horny wine aunts who are childless with 7 cats and hate children and claim to hate children and men. Yeah, it became thirsty, Graham, really quick. Like devastatingly fast. That's why the 50 Shades book and the Court of Thorns and Roses and that series, that's why those books became popular. Because of Bookstagram, because of Book Talk. That's the TikTok version of Bookstagram. So it's horrifying. And so I was curious. I was like, I am specifically interested which type of romance novels are selling. Because for a very long time, if you guys have seen some of my previous live streams, I've made some videos on it. It's going to be in some future videos. The woke, the DEI trash, it first creeped into books via the romance genre. So if that's where it got in first, that's where it needs to get out of first. And so I was curious. I was like, well, I know they were pushing the nasty romance books for a long time. And when I say nasty, I mean like utterly depraved. Also, it was very the 6 colored rainbow push as well. And so I was very curious because if they're Miss Martin, hello, Miss Martin Muses. You are amazing and I love you and I'm glad you're here. I digress. So I was curious and I looked some of these titles up, FYI, after I came and saw what was, this is Amazon's best sellers for romance novels that you have to pay for. Like, these aren't the free Kindle versions. These are the, I'm just going to show the top 20 because I'm not going to do a top 100. That would be a whole other live stream on its own and a whole other video on its own, which I might do actually. But Amazon's best sellers in romance. I hate these book covers. I will just go ahead. Like, Miss Martin is in the chat. She will testify. I hate this crap. I hate it with a passion so much. This one isn't horrific, but I don't know what's up with the, like, neon butterflies, nor do I care. But at least there's, like, a person on the cover who's in armor, and it's not just a sword or a chess piece or an apple or just a butterfly. I realize I'm in the romance genre, but, like, half-naked men on a book cover, unless he's, like, in a war and, like, his armor has been torn or something and there's a reason for him to be half-naked, never really appealed to me. It was never my thing. But again, at least there's a human being on the cover. I'm sure it's an AI human being, but still. All of these books, okay? And I think these are all from, like, the same series, from, like, they're from different authors, but they're obviously from the same publisher because they went with the same cover scheme, which I think is ridiculous. But the top 100 paid romance books, right? All of these books that I have looked into, okay, will come down. Here's the top 20, like Mary Kay Andrews, Holiday, Hideaway, My Favorite, Holiday, Broken Harbor, Only Santa's in the Building, The Lost Bookshop. I was sad because I was like, that's actually a really good title. Listen here, Miss Martin Muses, you're about to start world wars. Fantasy worlds will be burned to ash over such accusations. I am so sick of keys. I am, like, Miss Martin, no. I hate, loathe, despise the single subject cover, especially a freaking key. I hate it so much. It is retarded. Also, does not make any sense. I have yet to pick up a book that has a key on the cover that has anything to do with keys. God! I gotta do another book cover stream, obviously. Because this is something that's near and dear to my heart. Hate it. Modern book covers suck. For the 99.999% repeating into infinity. They suck. All of these books, however, these are the top 20 best-selling books in the romance genre on Amazon. Okay? This doesn't go into, like, their subgenres. So, like, you can see here, dark fantasy romance. Oh, God, it bothers me that they call it dark fantasy. That took on a whole other twisted, disgusting meaning after these depraved lunatics got in here. But Gold Digger, that's literally one of them, is literally Gold Digger. Nobody's perfect. Okay? So I looked up some of these, like what they were about. I'm sure you can tell from some of the covers, Forged in Blood, a dark paranormal fantasy. I looked up what some of these were. They all have, most of them, like this one should not, the wrong quarterback, Quicksilver. Strong, dominating male love interest / lead. Very heteronormative. Damsel in distress. Damsel or strong and independent woman until she no longer has to be. Strong male who is protective and nurturing and caring. That's what is selling on Amazon. Now, granted, we still have the slutty going on. The slutty stuff is still happening. But this is what's selling in romance. It is holiday-themed, Hallmark, feel-good stuff with, like, very strong male protagonists. That's what is selling on Amazon's top 20. With the top, that is not an exception. There is no exception to that rule. Very heteronormative. And I hate that I'm even using that. It's just normal romance books. Normal romance books. It doesn't have all of this padded, feminist, woke agenda bullshit. In most cases, it is everything these women claim to hate. It is strong male leads who are possessive, protective, overbearing. It's in some cases hyper territorial. So you can see all the subgenres over here. I'm not going to go through that. This is the top 20 out of all of those subgenres over there. That's what we're looking at. So not only is this trend of getting away from DEI woke trash, not only is it in Hollywood, not only is it in corporate, not only is it in beauty, it's in books. Like I said, I came here and looked because this is where it came in at, was romance. If you go back a few years, I forget when they came out, but Twilight at one point dominated this top 20 list. The 50 Shades books and the Court of Thorns and Roses, they were up in here somewhere. Like, they were all over the place. And so were other like weird DEI feminist wet dream books. Were all over the place. This is the first year that I can remember that the top 20 romance books are, not only are they seasonal, but they're just normal. They are a man, they are one man and one woman, and they go through whatever conflict is in the book, and then you get your happily ever after. Like, this is not the top 20. This is, by the way, this is not the top 20 on Amazon. This is not the top 20 on Amazon. This is the top 20 romance novels. Like I was saying, I came here first. I always check here because romance is where DEI came into books. That's where it got its foothold. That's where all of this feminist DEI propaganda came from. So this is not across Amazon, across all genres. This is just romance. A lot of young women aren't reading anymore either because the books suck. Hello, Stieg. I am doing very well, thank you. Yes, I was talking about the covers. I hate them. 99.999% repeating into infinity are trash of modern covers. But there's no keys. There's no chess pieces. There's no sword just laying there. This one gets really close, though. We've got like 3 paintbrushes. So this one doesn't even really have a subject. It's just font with like a moon and like forged in blood. I probably made that sound way more epic than it actually is. But this is where we're at. Like, that is a man and a woman on the cover. That's a man and a woman on the cover. That's a man and woman on the cover. That is an attractive man on the cover. Not really my type, but obviously like an attractive man on the cover. I don't really care for this at all. I'm sure some women find him attractive, but the emo whiny boy is definitely not my type. But his face is symmetrical, so he's got that going for him. Right? Like, these are all just normal stories. I was literally like blown away that this is what the top 20 looks like. And when I said like this one, I looked at what this one is. This is like a mafia one. This is like, he kills people with his bare hands to get to her situation. So the women who claim to hate men are definitely screaming for, maybe they just need to be rescued. Maybe Prince Charming just needs to like ride in on a white horse and slay the feminist dragon. But this has not only been noticed by me. Now, as we said, we are getting close to the season. We are knocking upon the door of Christmas, of Advent, and then into Christmas. Well, there are, of course, Christmas movies that come out. You know, it's a thing every year. You've got your Hallmark Christmas movies, you've got your Netflix Christmas movies. Like, they come out. Nobody expects them to be like huge, big budget films, but they have like a cult following, right? Hold on. If the purpose of the cover for a novel is to help sell it, then I think we all need a refund just for looking at it. So awful and a waste of paper and ink. Yeah, and sadly, this is an improvement over a lot of the covers that I've seen. But anyway, so I have my traditional Christmas movies that I watch every year without fail. Every year without fail. And I really, really thoroughly enjoy them. They're near and dear to my heart. We watch them as a family. But then I will always go and try and find like newer Christmas movies and see if any of them are up to snuff. But I only usually watch maybe 5 new Christmas movies. I found the first one that I think I'm going to watch, and I would like to actually thank the Mary Sue for bringing it to my attention. The Merry Gentleman. Solely because the Mary Sue hates this, I'm going to go watch it. Out of spite. It is probably going to be your usual, like, it's going to be your usual cheesy Christmas romance movie, or just like cheesy Christmas comedy movie. I'm not even sure. Chad Michael Murray is usually like rom-com. So that's what I'm going with. And based off of what I read from this article, I am ascertaining that it is, in fact, a rom-com, which is not my usual go-to, but I'm also, for my members, I'm going to do a live watch party with it, and then I'll put it up after. But members, we can do it live, because the Mary Sue, many of you will probably recognize this name, Rachel Leishman. She's the one who likes to attack us for, actually caring about lore and characters and staying true to the story. And she really hates quite a few of us. That's the same chick. The Merry Gentleman has the worst excuse for a male lead. Bruh, this is the funniest freaking article I have ever read. Because she's 100% serious. And I thought, oh my God. I'm not kidding. She's mad he's using power tools. She's mad that he is using power tools. I am fairly certain it is the same chick. The Merry Gentleman has the worst excuse for a male lead, from Rachel Leishman. This is Chad Michael Murray, for those of you that don't know. I never watched the kid, so there was 90210, gosh, what were they? I never watched any of these growing up. My sister was way more into this stuff. I'm trying to remember which one he was in. I'm pretty sure it's in the article. But this is Chad Michael Murray, CT 2005. And he's actually pretty funny and kind of based. And I think that's actually why she hates that he's attractive. Like, she hates that he is hot. I can't wait to get in this article with you. One Tree Hill. Thank you, Nuke. One Tree Hill. All right, here we go. Oh my God. Some movies have romantic leads you wish you could smooch. That is not the case with The Merry Gentleman. Oh my, we've gone bitter real quick. I don't care how much you loved Chad Michael Murray. Yep, there it is, in One Tree Hill. His character in this movie is the absolute worst. Oh my gosh, Rachel, what happened? Is he the bad guy in the movie? Is he not the love interest? Is he a hateful, spiteful, arrogant a-hole? Oh no. Rachel, tell us, what is his character? This film stars Britt Robertson as Ashley, a dancer who is let go from her Broadway show, and she ends up going back home for the holidays. There, the family reveals that they are losing the bar they owned, and she comes up with a plan to save it. Ready for this description? Think Magic Mike. Magic Mike meets a Hallmark Christmas movie. Bruh. I doubt it's actually Magic Mike-ish. I think she is trying to, like, amp up the sluttiness. I can't wait to watch this with my members. The premise of the film is cute enough, but boy, is there nothing I hate more than a man like Luke, who is Chad Michael Murray's character. So, we've got the premise for the movie. It's apparently Magic Mike meets Hallmark Christmas. I never thought that would be a sentence that would ever be said. And yet, there it is. So, what is so bad? What's so bad about Luke? Luke's baggage is that he moved to this small town for a girl who decided she didn't want to be there anymore and up and left him. Fine, I understand that fear. Okay, so understand this. He actually dropped everything and moved to town for this girl and was ready to build a life with her. And she decided she didn't want to be there anymore and left him. He gave up everything, and this chick left him. Fine, I understand that fear. That's not fear. That isn't fear. That crushes your soul. That crushes your soul. It's insane. But at one point in this movie, after flirting with Ashley for a full hour of its runtime, the two of them kiss. It isn't then an established relationship. They're still figuring it out. No, I am fairly certain. Like, this is where I have a problem with what Hollywood is trying to push. They have clearly have interest in one another, and it finally comes together in this kiss. Like, that is the two of them coming together. That's like, you have started a relationship. Yeah, it might be like awkward and kind of like cutesy in the beginning, and like, oh, like, did he touch my hand? Did he mean to touch my hand? Oh, like, he brushed up against my hair. Like, did he mean to brush that close, or is it just because they're spit? Like, that is normal. But this whole, oh, we full-blown made out, but we're still figuring things out. No. Bruh, like, kisses mean something. Holding hands means something. That's why you do it. It's PTA. It is a physical display of affection. Like, I don't understand why this is confusing. So the two kiss, but Rachel is saying, but that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. But when Ashley gets asked back to her Broadway show, he reacts as if she killed his dog. I wish I was kidding. The man is so angry that a woman wants to follow her lifelong dream that she ends up apologizing to him. I am so sorry, but in what world is a woman going back to the life she had before a slight on you? What? He has been left. He gave up everything to come build a life with a woman who left him. And Rachel is pissed that he's upset that it may happen again. I thought they wanted men to share their feelings and be more emotional. If the way she's describing it is how it actually happens, he's reacting like a woman. So she is being irrational, which means that she must hate the way that women react to things. Here we go. First of all, I don't believe Murray can use power tools. These people know that it's acting, right? I do not think that the men who have portrayed Joseph in Christmas stories, in the telling of the Christmas story, I don't think they're real carpenters. I don't think the women who are portraying Mary are the actual mother of Christ. Like, these people, like, when we nitpick shit, it's because of the quality. It's because of it'll be because of the shit writing, or like the budget. Like, you spent all this money and where did it go? Like, it's obviously not in this movie. Like, we have actual tangible shit. She's upset because she doesn't think that Chad Michael Murray, who is playing a character, can actually use power tools. That's her first hang up. Like, out of everything, literally, first of all, he is very much a devout Christian, yes. I think he's Catholic. If he can, I apologize. But this character's entire deal is that he started his carpentry business in town, and that's why he couldn't follow his last girlfriend. Okay, every city needs someone to fix stuff, dude. No. This is someone who has never owned and operated a business in their entire life. At least nothing tangible. Maybe she plays some part in the Mary Sue. I have no idea, but this isn't like, oh, I can write from anywhere. You can't do carpentry from anywhere. And carpentry don't just fix things. You build things. You create new. And the problem with that is it's very expensive in cities. Especially, like, depending on the city, unless you've been there for generations, one, it's going to be damn near impossible to even know you exist. And two, the taxes are going to destroy your business. Because of, especially, like, all of the regulation and EPA and environmental stuff, yeah, you'd never survive. So Rachel has absolutely no idea what she is talking about. He started his carpentry business in town, and that's why he couldn't follow his last girlfriend. He already gave everything up to come to her. Like, this is the thing she's not getting. He already left everything he had to start building a new life with her and for her. And she left him. I wouldn't follow her either. Rachel is insane. And she's so pissed. And it's hilarious. I'm absolutely watching this movie. How is this a romantic lead? Look, maybe someone wants this kind of love. Not me. I want a man who is going to be supportive of me so I can do the same for him. Okay, so you want him to sacrifice his goals, his ambitions, and his livelihood and lifelong dreams for yours. That's what you just said, Rachel. He already did that once. He's not willing to do it again because of what happened. Stupid bitch. Like, does she not hear herself? Luke wanted Ashley just to move home and choreograph their show, and he wanted that to be enough for her. Honestly, that's more than a lot of people get. I'm just saying. I would have taken him going to her show and apologizing, and then Ashley making the decision to quit. That is at least him taking responsibility. For what? He did nothing wrong. She, again, is upset because this follows the more natural inclination of the woman comes to the man. The man has built something. The woman is coming to help be supportive, and there is sacrifice in that. Sometimes if you sacrifice one dream for another, but it doesn't mean one is more or less important necessarily. It just means that you've changed. That's allowed, Rachel. That is at least him taking responsibility. But this movie makes Ashley apologize to him. And he makes a snarky comment about it. Okay, so like a woman? Like, how many? I could name off, all of the new Jurassic World movies. That's like 3 or 4. My God. Arcane season 2 has that. Excuse me. What was the one? Rain. Like, some of these are even older shows. Like, freaking Batwoman. The suit is literal perfection. It will be when it fits a woman. Like, she is just pissed that the man is actually being masculine and isn't taking the woman's shit. That's what's happening. So because he is not letting himself be pushed around, he's now the bad guy and isn't supportive. She wants a subservient man. She wants somebody who will serve her. But she'll get bored with that because that's not actually what she wants, as we saw based on all of the books in the top 20 romance for Amazon. Excuse me. I don't think this is cute and honestly teaches a weird lesson to those watching it. Okay, once again, it's not real life, and it is one of many cheesy Christmas movies. Not everything has to teach a lesson. Not everything is trying to shove a message or an agenda down your throat. This is just how, like, I can't wait. I am so ready to watch this movie. I have no doubt it's going to be terrible for many different reasons. But for the reason she's listing, it makes me want to watch it. Excuse me. I'll wait till we get to the end of this paragraph. She's off the reservation. You can have love. You just have to forget your own dreams and apologize to a man if your dreams hurt his feelings. That isn't what happened. That's not at all what happened. I haven't even seen the movie, and I promise you that's not what happened. Based on your previous description, as I've already said multiple times, he already gave up everything to restart his life. Good Lord. And it's not that it hurts his feelings. It's that you're choosing money over love. And that Broadway department, or what was it, company? Was it a Broadway company? I can't even remember. Broadway show. So she's a dancer who gets let go from a Broadway show. That happens all the time. Is she not part of like a dance company? Okay, so she's been let go and she's trying to help her family save their business back home. These all sound like admirable things to try and do. So far, she's genuinely upset about money. And you'll know that here in just a second. It gets reinforced. Those dreams you had long before you even met him, I don't think I will ever get over her apologizing to him for going back to a job she had that was offering her more money. That's literally what this all boils down to for them every single time. Money, power, prestige. I just... It's mind-blowing. I just don't... I don't understand... I don't understand it. It's Rachel is so miserable and she wants everybody to be miserable with her. Choose money over the man that you love, guys. Choose money over love. That's going to make you happy. Happy. Because then it's your money. It's not his. And you can hold it over his head. And you don't need no man. Go, girl. Like, I am just... I don't know. I really want to watch this movie because she's making it sound like he verbally, like, abuses her and mistreats her. and like gaslights her. And really what Rachel is pissed about is that she apologized for choosing love over money. That's what it boils down to. Fucking wild, bruh. This last paragraph is where I freaking died. As someone who loves a hot man, all right, so she's admitting that Chad Michael Murray is hot. As someone who loves a hot man, this just feels like a girl who doesn't know what she wants with her life, and a man who is using that to his advantage. No, what it sounds like is a girl got fired. She had nowhere to go. She went home. She decided to help her family. A man who had built a life there wanted to share it with her. And she decided to run back to the same place responsible for her misery. That's what it sounds like. So be miserable as long as you're making money, guys. As long as you're making money for yourself, women, you don't need no man. God, the level of projection. So if you want to watch The Merry Gentleman, get ready for the most frustrating man of all time. Bruh. I can't wait to watch this movie. I am so ready. Like, she's so upset about actual relationship discussion and actual conflict, and the fact that the woman apologizes for being shallow and greedy. Because that's what, like, if you leave a man who is willing to give you his whole world and build it to something to make room for you and build more together, like, to leave him to go back to the place that just fired you because you're replaceable, you are another cog in the machine, and you went back, you should fucking apologize. She is 100% in there. I've not even seen the movie. Ashley is wrong, Rachel. I don't know what to tell you. You're wrong and she's wrong. Holy crap. But this is where we are. The DEI, the woke, it's leaving, and normal storytelling is coming back. And places like the Mary Sue are shattering. Because their one superpower that they had, it's puttering out. They can no longer project onto everybody else and have it be effective. Yes, they had like sub powers to that main power of projection. They had gaslighting. They had monopolization of press. They had their bullying tactics, but it all fell under the umbrella of projection. It all fell under the umbrella of projection. So now, because it no longer has any power, and they are recognizing that, they're panicking. They're panicking. They can't use projection anymore, and it's the one play that they've always been able to rely on. So now, because these normal stories are reappearing and gaining traction, and we're returning to normalcy, they don't know what to do. They are at a loss, and it is freaking hilarious. Psychotic Mongoose, thank you so much. Gifted 1 membership. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know you just got here, but like I was saying, for my members, we're going to watch this movie. We're going to watch The Merry Gentleman. We'll do a live watch party. And then I'll make it public after. So if you want to watch what hopefully will be an anti-feminist, cheesy Christmas movie, go ahead, drop your membership, get a membership just for that if you want. Hopefully I've got some other stuff that will be able to wet your whistle But we're definitely going to be watching The Merry Gentleman because holy cow. That rant was hilarious. She's pissed that he's hot. She's pissed that he used power tools. She's pissed that he started his own business. She's pissed that because he already gave everything up once for somebody, he's not willing to do it again because it blew up in his face. So he's learned from past mistakes. And she's pissed that the actress, like the female love interest, apologizes for being a shallow, greedy bitch. I can't wait to watch this fucking movie. I cannot wait. Let me see if I can find the trailer. Duke, did you say you found it? I am looking up the trailer. I will look up the trailer as well. We shall briefly watch that together. I'm assuming this is on Netflix. So, la 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 la. Whoa, that popped up. It was like the fourth one in my search. All right. Well, obviously it's not that one because that looks like that came out in 2016. So there's another Merry Gentleman. We're not going to be watching that one. Running away from a troubled marriage, Katie Fraser hopes to find anonymity with a new home and a new job. Definitely not that one. Here we go. Oh, I guess it is Magic Mike. That's a very half-naked man. All right. Here we go. Netflix will hit this. So if you're catching this on the replay, I've probably had to edit out the trailer. So I apologize.
We are going to make this show something truly special.
She made it a Slooty Duty. Okay.
Something this town has never seen before. Who's ready to make some Christmas magic?
That is literally, yeah, that's Magic Mike. Wow. Okay. That's my face right now. That is also my face right now. And that's the all three of these men are, these are the emotions that I'm feeling. I dislike this. Still gonna watch it because I said I would. Damn. All right. Hopefully that is very limited. So she left her big city dance. What Broadway show was she doing? I wonder. Yikes. Okay. I have questions too.
Was that a rhetorical question?
That was supposed to be inspirational.
Oh, I dislike the lead. She's only uttered a few lines of dialogue.
Sounded rhetorical.
I'm a fan.
How about you guys?
Whatever. Let's get started.
He makes it Slooty. She shows up and makes it Slooty.
Christmas at the Rhythm Room used to be a tradition around here.
But now it's on life support. Whoa! Hole in the wall with too many holes in the walls.
Well, that's what happens when you don't run your business correctly. If you do not reinvest in your business, stuff falls apart. Like, nothing lasts forever. You need upgrades, you need replacements, you need to reinvest in your business. That's why you can't just take the money and spend it on nonsense. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, the lake. There's got to be a way to get people excited about this place.
So she sees the man dancing at the grill and she jumps to Magic Mike. All right.
Don't you think male strippers are the answer?
Ha! Ha! Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Chad. Male dance review. See, they're in denial about who and what it really is.
Male dance review.
Men taking their clothes off?
It's men taking their shirts off.
Oh, it's a different story then.
Really?
No.
Thank you. I like him. I know he's going to take his shirt off. I think he already did, but I like him. His character is 100% on the nose.
Ready to get your dance on?
He's cute.
He's annoying.
He's available.
We only have until Christmas.
Oh, so now that he's like attractive and doing stuff, now she's like, oh, he's doing what I want him to do. So now I find, yeah, I hate Ashley. You can do better. Luke, that's his name in the show, right? Luke, I hear you, Birdie. I love you too. Yes. Yes. The people can hear you as well. You're making the dogs go crazy.
To save this place, or it's gone forever.
Just a few more measurements. His eyes are up there.
Oh my God. Really?
Shout out to the merry gentleman.
My number. I'll get that.
Can't stop now, here we go.
Okay. Oh, it's already on. Oh, so we could, yay. I wish I hadn't said that I'll watch it. I'll still watch it, but that is so far from like my normal stuff. The feminist comments are so saturated. Like, this is definitely for women. It definitely is a feminist story. I think really the only reason that Rachel is pissed is because in the end, feminism loses. That's what I'm banking on. I am banking on feminism loses and she's pissed about it. I think that's what happened. And I hope that that is true. Listen, Subhuman, you can blame the Mary Sue. I have now promised myself to something that I wish I hadn't promised myself to, but I'm still going to watch it. I am still going to watch it. All right. Now, as promised, this is a very short. So, like we talked about at the beginning, yes, you're actually 100% correct. She has, the reason she's pissed is because feminism loses at the end. And it's 100% gold digger mentality. Yeah, unfortunately, Subhuman, it is. So, we have been going for just under 3 hours, so we're going to wrap it up. But, again, I hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving. It's going to be great. I have to get ready for the first of my Thanksgivings for the week. It went by so fast. The stream was so fun. On Livian, yes, I know. Don't worry, we will have a long stream soon. But I started the stream, it is Thanksgiving. We are knocking on the doors of Advent, of Christmas. And like I said at the beginning, Toys for Tots, you can go to their websites, toysfortots.org. And we are going to finish up. We're going to get a palate cleanser from all of this insanity. Projection has lost its power. And now we're going to watch something that will hopefully truly warm your heart and bring that Christmas spirit feeling out. It is one of the Toys for Tots commercials. It is an oldie but a goodie. It's very short. And hopefully it inspires you. It helps you feel great. I know it, every time I see it, it brings a smile to my face. And I would, if there was anything that I could say, Toys for Tots is a great organization. And if you're looking for a way to spread Christmas cheer and Christmas joy and really fulfill the spirit of Christmas, this is a great way to do that. So chat, you remain undefeated. I appreciate every single one of you who, if you were here the whole time, if you dipped in, dipped out, you guys are amazing. I appreciate you all. I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving if you're here in America or if you're abroad and you're celebrating abroad. And I hope everybody is ready for Christmas to get into full swing. I cannot wait to show you guys more of what I have. I should be able to stream tomorrow for a very short period of time, probably at a weird time. But as always, God bless, Godspeed, much love, and take care. Mwah. Bye.
Excuse me. Excuse me, are you Santa Claus? I heard you might be him. If you are him, here's my list.
Help the Marines make Christmas possible for less fortunate children. Donate a new toy to Toys for Tots.
Yes, Santa.